The call comes at 02:17. Encrypted line, 6 rings, no greeting. Move the package before sunrise. You don't ask what's inside. You already know better. A black Pelican case waits in the trunk of a dented Toyota Corolla parked behind a textile warehouse outside the city limits. The air smells like diesel and wet concrete. You drive without headlights for the first half mile. No police escort, no backup. Just you, a burner phone, and coordinates pinned 12 kilometers east of the river. Level 1 has one rule. You don't need to understand the war. You just need to move pieces. You're paid $3,200 in cash for tonight. Crisp bills, vacuum sealed. More money than you make in a month at your legitimate job. You tell yourself it's temporary. At the drop point, 3 men in mismatched fatigues wait in silence. No insignias, no flags. One of them checks the case's serial number against a printed sheet. The number matches. He nods once. No, thank you. You leave before they open it. You know what's inside. You felt the weight. 2 disassembled M4 carbines, thermal optics, unregistered. This is how it starts. You are not a soldier. You are not a spy. You are a courier, and couriers don't ask who's funding the rifles. You get paid through layered transfers after that. Cryptocurrency routed through 3 wallets, converted to cash through a currency exchange kiosk 2 districts away. You begin to learn the ecosystem. There are no official ranks here, only tiers of access. The first tier is ignorance. You run packages twice a week now, sometimes weapons, sometimes encrypted drives, once a sealed envelope containing photos you don't look at. You notice something else. The men you deliver to never change. The men who give you instructions always do. Level 1 teaches you this. Visibility is vulnerability. You keep your head down. You convince yourself you're just a delivery driver. But one night, the package bleeds through the corner of the case, and you don't stop driving. Something inside you shifts.
It starts when they stop giving you coordinates. Now they give you names. You'll meet Fareed at 1940, cafe on Jenner Road, window seat. You sit across from him while he stirs tea he never drinks. He looks like a school teacher, wire-frame glasses, soft voice. He slides a manila envelope across the table. Inside, satellite images, supply routes, 2 warehouse locations circled in red. You'll pass this to the unit leader, he says. No copies. You are no longer just moving objects. You are moving information. Level 2 rule. Information is more valuable than weapons. Weapons create noise. Information shapes outcomes. Your payments increase. $8,000 this month alone, half in crypto, half in cash delivered in a grocery bag. You learn about the factions. There's the militia in the hills funded through shell NGOs. There's the urban cell embedded in municipal offices. There's the foreign sponsor, never named, always implied. You are the bridge between them. You attend meetings in safe houses with covered windows and white noise machines humming in the background. You memorize faces. You memorize allegiances. You learn who hates who. You learn that loyalty is rented, not owned. One night, Fareed doesn't show up. Instead, 2 new men sit in his place. Fareed was compromised, they say. You don't ask what that means. You don't ask where he is. Level 2 teaches you another rule. Replaceability is survival. You start carrying a concealed pistol, not because they tell you to, because you finally understand the risk. You tell yourself you're still not part of the violence, you're just passing messages. But when one of your deliveries leads to a police raid that leaves 9 officers dead, you recognize the warehouse address. It was circled in red. You sleep badly for the first time. Then you stop sleeping badly at all.
They test you at 312. A warehouse in the industrial district is on fire. A shipment meant for the northern faction is exposed. Fix it, the voice says. No instructions, no guidance, just the expectation. Level 3 rule: problems don't escalate upward, they disappear downward. You arrive before emergency services. You call in a favor from a logistics manager you once bribed $2,000 to ignore a manifest discrepancy. You redirect the remaining shipment to a cold storage facility under a different company name. You pay off 2 firefighters to delay their official report by 6 hours. You scrub CCTV footage by contacting a municipal IT contractor who owes you for clearing his gambling debt. By dawn, the fire is ruled electrical. The shipment survives. You just saved $1.4 million in equipment and preserved an alliance. Your payment comes the next day. $25,000 wired in staggered crypto transfers. No praise, just more responsibility. You begin coordinating directly with cell leaders now. You negotiate ammunition quantities. You approve transportation budgets. You decide which faction gets priority shipments when supply runs thin. You feel powerful. You also feel watched. Level 3 is where you first compromise someone deliberately. A journalist starts sniffing around procurement irregularities. You invite him to dinner. You offer him exclusive access to a corruption scandal unrelated to your network. He publishes that instead. You redirect his ambition. You manipulate truth without touching a weapon. You tell yourself it's cleaner this way. Your name starts circulating in encrypted chats. They call you reliable. You like that word. Reliable means necessary, but necessary means visible, and visible means one step closer to being targeted.
It begins with a map spread across a steel table. You stand at the head now. 7 men wait for your decision. The Northern Militia and the Urban Cell are about to clash over funding allocation. Both want the same shipment, anti-drone systems worth $3.8 million. You have authority to decide. Level 4 rule: control resources, control loyalty. You allocate 60% to the Urban Cell, 40% to the North. You justify it as strategic balance. In reality, you're rewarding the faction that provides better intelligence. You start shaping the war, not just supporting it. You authorize targeted disruptions. You reroute cash through humanitarian fronts. You coordinate disinformation campaigns to discredit rival commanders who grow too independent. You no longer attend safe houses. Meetings happen in private offices leased under fake consulting firms. You wear tailored suits now. You carry 2 phones, one encrypted, one clean. You clear $120,000 this quarter. None of it touches your legal identity. You tell yourself you're still an intermediary, but when a commander refuses your directive, you cut his funding. 3 weeks later, his unit fractures. Leadership is replaced. You never ordered violence. You just withdrew oxygen. Level 4 teaches you this. Power is the ability to deny. You deny shipments. You deny information. You deny survival. You notice something else. You don't feel adrenaline anymore, just calculation. You miss the fear. It made things simple. You don't attend operations now. You design them. The foreign sponsor finally reveals themselves, not by name, but by presence. A representative flies in under diplomatic immunity. Meeting held in a secured compound with signal jammers active. They don't shake your hand. They evaluate you.
You present operational metrics, territory influence percentages, casualty ratios, supply chain efficiency. You speak in numbers, not ideology. They approve expanded funding. $22 million allocated for the next fiscal cycle. Level 5 rule: money is policy. You restructure the network. You create redundancies. 3 independent supply corridors instead of 1, parallel funding channels, layered deniability. You collect leverage files on every commander, hidden bank accounts, extramarital affairs, offshore property, insurance. You don't trust loyalty anymore. You manufacture it. You begin authorizing operations that shift regional stability, infrastructure sabotage, strategic assassinations disguised as criminal disputes. You no longer know the names of every man who dies because of your decisions. That feels intentional. Psychologically, something hardens. You stop seeing faces. You see outcomes. You justify it as strategic necessity. If you don't manage the violence, someone more reckless will. You believe that. You need to. It happens quietly. No announcement. But people start asking for your permission before they act. Even senior commanders. Level 6 rule: you are the bottleneck. Nothing moves without your approval. Weapons, funds, information, even alliances. You chair strategic councils via secure video links routed through 5 countries. Your words are recorded nowhere. You decide which town gets destabilized to force a political concession. You decide which faction absorbs another. You consolidate power. You eliminate inefficiencies, which means you eliminate people. When one ambitious commander attempts to build an independent funding line, you leak evidence of his corruption to his own deputies. He is removed within 48 hours. No bullets traced to you, just influence. You now clear over $3 million annually through layered offshore structures. You own property in 2 countries under different names, but you cannot walk freely in either. You travel with rotating security teams. You sleep in different locations each week. You've gained control. You've lost normalcy. You don't remember the last time someone spoke to you without needing something. Authority isolates, but you tell yourself it's necessary. You are maintaining balance. Without you, the factions would tear each other apart. That's what you believe at night. The network runs even when you say nothing. That's when you realize you've built something autonomous. Level 7 rule: true power is systemic. You are no longer managing operations. You are shaping narratives. You influence elections indirectly by redirecting security incidents. You broker ceasefires that buy time for rearmament. You play factions against each other to maintain dependence. Foreign sponsors consult you before adjusting regional strategy. You are no longer an asset. You are an architect. But you trust no one. Your circle shrinks to 2 advisors, both of whom have files on you. Mutual destruction keeps loyalty intact. You stop using personal devices entirely. You communicate through intermediaries who don't know your real name. Sometimes you look at old photos of yourself before level 1. You barely recognize that person. He thought he was just moving packages. Now you move governments. You feel untouchable and completely alone. You realize something else. If the network collapsed tomorrow, someone would replace you within a year. The system doesn't need you. It just needs a role filled. That thought unsettles you more than any threat. There is no ceremony, just silence. You withdraw from visible command. Decisions pass through layers before reaching you. You approve only the most consequential shifts, major offensives, peace negotiations, strategic realignments. You operate from a private estate registered under a foundation that promotes conflict resolution. Irony doesn't bother you anymore. Level 8 rule: invisibility is immortality. Most field operators don't know you exist. Mid-level commanders know you as a rumor. Only 3 people can reach you directly. You rarely answer immediately. Power now is restraint. You've built redundancies so deep that removing you would cause temporary instability, but not collapse. You designed it that way. Control feels abstract, almost distant. You wake before dawn each day and review reports, casualty counts, funding flows, political shifts, numbers scrolling across encrypted screens, thousands affected by single-line approvals. You don't feel pride, you feel weight. You remember the first night, the Pelican case, the bleeding corner. You understand now that you stepped into a closed ecosystem. It rewards ambition, it feeds on conflict, it replaces weakness, and it never ends. You could dismantle parts of it, but dismantling creates vacuums. Vacuums invite chaos. So you maintain equilibrium. You call it stability, others call it war. Somewhere in the city, at 0217, a phone vibrates on a nightstand. A young man answers. He listens. He agrees. There's a black case in the trunk of a car behind a warehouse. He tells himself it's temporary. He tells himself he's just moving a package. You don't interrupt. You don't warn him. The system needs couriers, and he will rise. He thinks he understands the risk. He doesn't, but he will.